Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Figure It Out. We're going to go ahead and make a little book nook display for this action figure. It's DC's future state Superman as he is on Warworld in the Gladiator arena. Well, to be honest, I had not planned on doing a video for this particular build. I was going to just do something fast and quick and kind of not put a lot of effort into it just because I had some pieces laying around. But as I've gotten into it, I thought, I need to stop because this is actually, I think this is going to be a really cool build. So let's talk a little bit about it. Well, this whole thing got started when I found this Superman action figure. Honestly, I haven't collected this particular comic, and so I almost passed it by, but I'm really into Conan and the whole barbarian, warrior, gladiator type storylines, and I thought it looked pretty interesting in the box, and to be honest, it was on sale for like 10 bucks. So I thought, okay, I'm going to pick it up. And I started looking at this figure and it is so interesting, and in my mind it is so well done, and so I wanted to show you a little bit about it and why I got so stoked about it. Mainly what I love about it is the detail of Superman's face. I mean, there's obviously a lot going on here with his tattered cape, and he's got a battle axe and a shield. He's in gladiator garb here, which you can kind of see, and so I thought, well, what is this? He's got chains around him. He's got chains that are holding the Superman S to his chest, and he's got the S on the shield. So what is happening here in this with this action figure? And so I had those questions, but I started looking really closely at the details. I mean, sometimes the McFarlane toys are hit or miss. This one, in my opinion, is a massive home run, and I want to show you just what I'm talking about as we get real close to this face sculpt here. So I want you to take a look at what we've got with this Superman. Man, the expression on his face. So doing a little background on this figure and what it is, this is from a storyline where Superman goes to a planet called War Planet, and there's a bad guy there called the Mongol, and he is enslaved the people of this planet, and Superman is fighting in the gladiatorial arena to free these people. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but the cool part about this story is he's left Earth, he's a little older, and so they even put this little graying of his hair on the side. He's held captive by the Mongol, and so you can see he's got this sort of stubble beard going on his face. He's not happy, so you can see just the expression. Man, this is such a great sculpt. It's so well done. I'm really excited about what it looks like, and I would suggest if you can find this figure, even I would pay full price for this, knowing what I know. So I would suggest go and get it. I mean, even the shield has like texture to it where a lot of the weapons and things do not, but it's got some some pittedness and some things that just make it look like it's really worn. So that's really cool about it. We got some close-ups on the chains on his chest. You can see in his muscles, you can see the veins that are popping out on his arms, his shoulders. It's just such a cool sculpt. Anyway, so I got this Superman, and I'm like, wow, I want to put this thing in kind of a special place. And so downstairs, I have all my books, I have my office, and I was going to make like a little book nook thing for it. I was just going to take this little piece that I'd cut down and kind of slap some paint on it, and that was it. But I got to reading the story of Warworld and what it was, and let me tell you something. That is an amazing storyline, and if you haven't read it, you should read it. The Warworld saga, and where he goes to free these people. There's some connections to Krypton. There's some other things going on there, but anyway. So, and he's got just one of the coolest outfits in the comics that you'll find in this Gladiator outfit. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna, instead of just slapping this thing together, why don't I do it upright? Why don't I make this thing look pretty cool? And so all I've done thus far on this build with this right here is I've got the platform. This again was from that Conan build that I'd made. I'd already made these sort of blocks that looks like a stone. I took a minute and I cut some marks in it like there had been fights going on behind. And I painted it this sort of brown red, and I painted the sand kind of this orange, red, brown. And the reason why is because in the comics, Warworld is very orange, very brown, very red. A lot of the skies, a lot of the textures, it's all this kind of color. Now this is just coat one. I've got a lot of other paint colors we're gonna put on this, dry wash, dark wash, that sort of thing. But I wanted to stop at this point of the build and bring you guys along, because all I've done at this point, you can go back to the Conan build, all I've done is put the base, put the back, made the stones, and put some etches and put some paint on it, and that's it. But I'm going to do some other things with it to really dress this up and make this maybe kind of a cool build. Anyway, so I thought, let's make this a little bit more bleak. Let's make this a little bit more exciting. Let's make this a little bit more visual. And why don't you guys join me for that ride? All right, well, I started off on this build just making some rocks out of this XPS foam. I wanted to put some stones on the floor of the arena, so I thought it might be cool just to cut out a few shapes and mold some few rocks. It's not a very big arena floor, so there's not a lot of space, but I'm going to add some texture to these rocks using that aluminum foil ball. You can see how it puts a lot of dimpling and rock-like surface to this foam. As always, I want to light up my dioramas, and so since this is going on a bookshelf, I thought, well, I'm going to put this switch in the very front. I usually put them on the sides, but I thought this will be a good idea, so I'm just going to burn some channels for the wiring. I'm going to wire up the switch, and as always, once we solder it up, we're going to put that heat shrink tubing in place, and that'll protect all the solder connections and the wires as well. Once I got that going, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use 2 lights for this. I'm going to make some torches in the background, and so I'm going to kind of punch some holes in the walls of the diorama, push these wires through, pull them down through the back. I've got some ideas for what I want these torches to look like. I don't think I want to use just regular kind of flame or whatever. So, and now I'm going to just take some regular watered down PVA glue and spray it on the base. I thought about just dressing up that orange but I'm just going to use real sand. I happen to have a bag of sand in my stuff. Hey, I found these little skeleton figures. They're about 7 inches, so about the same size as Superman. I thought, well, you know what? I found these at Walmart during Halloween. Now's a good time to use them. I'm going to kind of cut them up and cut up several of them just so I can have some bones littering the arena. I thought that might be good. And so those 2 kind of half skeletons, I thought, you know what? This might be a good time to use those as the torches, as sconces for the lights. So I'm going to put the light up inside the rib cage of those guys. I've got some brown, really watered down, just brown paint, and I'm just using it now to dirty up those skeletons. You can see those bones have dried, and so those are good. I'm just doing a base coat of brown on these rocks, although I'm going to do a bunch of layers of paint on this to dress those up, which I'm not going to show that in the video, but just thought I'd make those brown. I'm going to do a dry brush, a light coat of this. That actually is not white. It's kind of a yellow, even though in the video it looks very white, but it's not. I wanted to still stay with those warm tones, but what this does, it just allows the highlight of those scratches and stuff in the rocks and the rock texture, just gives it that depth of paint, so it takes it off from being just a flat brown to give it some texture. I'm going to do a dark wash over it. But first, now that the bones and the rocks are dried up, I can go ahead and glue those to the base. We're just using some hot glue. Now that those are dried, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to make it look like there's been a lot of sand in this place. So I'm going to bury them a little bit in the sand, and I'm going to come back with another PVA application. Once I get the sand where I want it to be, I'll spray it down again and let that dry. That actually does a pretty good job. So now I'm going to do the dark wash on the back arena wall, and this just mutes all those highlights, but and I'll do some of that dark wash as well on the rocks and the bones and just give it some depth. So I'm going to take those skeletons, now I'm just going to glue them in place, but I thought this might be actually kind of cool to push them up inside these skeletons like they took corpses and made torches out of them. I think that's really grim and gruesome, but I think that's actually kind of cool. Well, all right, this is where we ended up. So I'm down in my office. Thought I'd show you guys where on the shelf this Superman diorama landed. So I think it looks really cool in place. I'm really pretty excited about it. You can see from its place on the shelf that it just looks really cool. And so I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. I know I say that about a lot of them, but just the fact that everything that I envisioned was able to come about just really makes me happy about this. So obviously there was a couple things to figure out. One, I really had to just have a vision for what this build was going to look like. Really no evidence in the comics as to what the arena might be, which gave me a sense of freedom, but I also wanted to stay true to the storyline. So I did not want to have this be something that was too far off from what I believe maybe Warworld would look like. So that was kind of fun in that, being able to imagine, but also wishing that I had a little bit more source material to work with. But I also felt like the coloration was true to what the comics look like, so I was pretty happy about that. And it just makes, I've not done a display for my bookshelves yet, but it just makes a really neat conversation piece for people to come over, and just a really cool thing for me to look at each and every day. So, well, thank you so much for watching Figure It Out. I'm really excited that you watched this video, and if you enjoyed it, just hit that like button and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the good comments that you guys continue to leave me. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time on Figure It Out.